Hi friends, and welcome to another video. This one was really fun to do and I hope you enjoy it. I'm taking you along as I do a Monday reset in our kitchen. I like to really just food prep and meal prep as best as I can at the beginning of the week. I will either do this on Sundays or Mondays if our Sundays are busy. And it helps me so much. I am a mother to 2 little toddlers and I'm in my 3rd trimester now, so anything I can do to stay ahead is really helpful. I will say that if you want to jump to the actual food prep, it starts about the 4-minute mark of this video. So if you want to fast forward ahead, that is fine. I'm just going to talk a little bit about why I do this and how I actually have seen this help and improve my life and my weekly just schedules and routines. So if you want to go ahead and jump forward, that is perfectly fine. Also, if you're new here, my name is Hannah and this is Your Anointed Home. On this channel, I make videos for wives and mothers and homemakers who want to steward their homes well for the Lord in every aspect that they can. So what I decided to do first was kind of rearrange this corner of my kitchen. It has been this way probably right after we moved into this house, and I wanted to give it a little refresh for the spring. So I was working on that, putting away some oils that had been out just over past sicknesses and just the seasons of life, and I wanted to clean this up and get this done before I started my food prep this Monday. As you will see me go about my food prep, I really like to do a few things when I am deciding what to do in my kitchen for the week ahead. I like to make some snack type items, really because of having 2 toddlers and just being pregnant and needing to have nutrition throughout the week. I like to have some snacks on hand. I also like to make breakfast items because usually our mornings are either starting out busy or they are having a late start for some reason because our nights was rough. And then also having stuff for my husband just to grab quickly on his way out the door as he goes to work each morning. So I like to have some type of breakfast item going. As you can see, I am already starting on some waffles here. I make sourdough waffles. Sometimes I put protein powder in them. Sometimes I put chocolate collagen. I will link the one I use down below. I do have a code for that as well, so that you can save some money. And I love having those just as an easy thing to grab out of the refrigerator or the freezer and pop them in the toaster for a few minutes. And then we have breakfast right away. And then I also like to prep anything ahead of time that I can for dinner prep. So sometimes I will cook chicken and get that shredded if I know that I'm going to be needing shredded chicken for meals throughout the week, or maybe cook ground beef if I know I'm going to need that and it'll save me time. I will shred cheese if I am going to be using a lot of that in my meals. Whatever it is, I like to get ahead as much as I can, and it really does help me because I see on the weeks that I'm not able to do a lot of prep or like any prep at all. I really do fall behind and I have to catch up throughout our busy week when we are going places, running errands, meeting friends, going on play dates, all the stuff. So if I can get anything out of the way that I can and really just help myself out, I really try to do so. So I will try to have as many of the recipes I can linked below in the description for you, and you can check out those. Some are on my Instagram, others I will leave linked to the website I use the recipes from, but I will try to do my best to link those at the in the description box. So I started on waffles because that's what we had for breakfast that morning, and I just wanted to continue on. This lasted us a couple of days, and then I actually froze some for the weekend at the end of this week. So that was extremely helpful because it was a very crazy week and crazy ending too. So that was helpful. I didn't put any chocolate collagen in this one. This is just sourdough, but I do love doing that on most days. Then I got started on a batch of marshmallows. If you follow me over on Instagram, you know I make these marshmallows every single week, especially in the wintertime. I make them probably even more. They are so great. They are gut healing because I use bovine gelatin in them, so they are great for your gut, and they actually add protein to your diet as well, which I try to get in as much as I can right now, being in the 3rd trimester. So it's very simple. You use water, the gelatin, some maple syrup and vanilla, and then I will actually add some spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger in at the end when it is done like whipping in my mixer. These are so fun to make, and they're so easy because you just whip them up, put them in the refrigerator, and then you can use them. I put them in my coffees. We use them for hot chocolate, and then they are just a great snack as well. My boys love them. So they turn into this white, fluffy like mixture, and then you just pour them in your glass dish and cut them up. Or you set them in the fridge for a couple hours, then you cut them up, and yeah, they are my favorite thing to make, and I will be making these every single week in any of my prep videos that I ever do. Which I do a lot of these over on Instagram, but I thought it would be fun to do a long form one on YouTube for you. So that is why I decided to do this. Next, I got started on some coffee syrups. I was making a mocha sauce for coffees. I decided to switch it up a bit because my friend Amy over from Written on His Hands blog, you can find her on Instagram and her website, she posted about making a mocha sauce made with coconut sugar, which I thought was amazing because I'm trying to lessen my sugar for gut reasons and just for an overall healthier pregnancy. So that is what I decided to do, and I have been loving using this. I make it in a small batch because I'm honestly the only one who drinks mocha. And it turns out so great. You can even taste that it's a different sugar. It makes it rich and creamy, and it's really great. The other one you saw was a white mocha coffee syrup, which I make for my husband, and that is the one he drinks all the time, so that's the ones I make a lot. So then I got started on some bagel dough. I wanted to make sourdough bagels, but I did not have enough starter from over the weekend. I forgot to feed it, so I just decided to make plain regular bagels. So I got the dough started, put that in the bowl, and set it aside to rise. I used to make these like weekly, and then I kind of got out of the habit, so I really wanted to try making these again for a quick breakfast or even like lunch option for us this week. So I covered the dough and put that to the side to rise while my waffles were still cooking in the waffle maker. As you can see, my stack is growing over there. I started on a batch of blueberry oatmeal bars. This I used as a snack, and I even took some to a play date we had the next day. I had some like older blueberries that I wanted to use up, so this was a perfect option for that, and it's pretty healthy version. I will leave the recipe that I used linked below. It was super easy. Just mix everything up in a bowl. I think I substituted regular sugar for sucanat sugar, which is like a brown sugar alternative that is not as refined. I will leave a link for that below if you want to check that out and just kind of look into that yourself. I love using that when I'm able. So mixing those up, putting those in the pan, and putting those in the oven. And again, these turned out really yummy, and they were a great little treat for the kids and for us. So I had a bunch of bananas that were really very spotty, very brown, that I wanted to make some type of like baked good with, but I was already making a couple different type of baked goods and sweets, so I didn't want to have any more for the week. So I decided to break these up. I could just chop them, but I just like broke them up with my hands and put them in a bag to go in the freezer, and I will use these for smoothies, or if in the future I want to bake something, I can take some out and defrost. I love keeping a bag of bananas frozen in our freezer, mainly because of smoothies, and we do drink a lot of those, especially in the summertime. So this is just an easy option to not let your bananas go to waste, and I do this all throughout the year, honestly, because sometimes I will buy a bunch of bananas and my boys will eat them within like a day, and then other times I will buy them and my boys decide they don't like bananas and they sit up there and go bad unless I do something with them. So this is just an easy option of what to do. So now I'm getting started on my bagels. The dough rose, I think it was in about an hour, and I turned the dough out on a floured surface, cut those into to 8 equal parts, rolled those into balls, and got my water boiling. This is something that I do that I guess is not typical when making bagels. Sometimes a lot of recipes, I will say, will call for like a baking soda bath or a brown sugar bath when you're making bagels. I never put anything in my water. Sometimes I will add brown sugar, but most of the time I will just leave my water plain, just nothing in it. And they always turn out fine anyway, and we enjoy them. They are soft. I tend to make them a little more soft, as you will see when I put them into boil. I don't leave them in the hot water for long at all, because the longer you leave them, the more of a hard crust they form. I will just drop them in for a couple seconds, flip them over for a couple more seconds, and then pull them out. This way they are much easier to eat, especially when you have little ones in your home. So yeah, I got started on those, put them in the hot water, took them out, and then I will normally brush them. This is something else I will do differently, because I don't want to waste a whole egg on just a couple of bagels, because I always have a lot of egg wash left over. So what I normally do is brush them with milk, or I think I used half and half this day because we were low on milk and groceries. This was like the end of our 2-week shopping trip, or our 2 weeks shopping, and I needed to take a trip in a couple days. So I decided to use half and half, and they still turned out great. Turned out beautiful and brown and soft, and I put everything bagel seasoning on top. Okay, now moving on to watermelon popsicles. The boys love popsicles in the summertime and are constantly asking for them, but they only like certain flavors, and watermelon is one of them. That is like one of the only ones I can make from scratch that they will actually enjoy, because that's all I use is just fruit or juice, depending on what type of popsicle I'm making. So I had some watermelon left over. I blended that up and then poured it into my little popsicle trays, and put those in the freezer for the week ahead. I decided to make a really quick chicken salad with some leftover shredded chicken I had, just for me to eat on throughout the week as a really quick lunch item I could have. And this turned out really great. I just threw in some different things. I wasn't even following a recipe. I want to tweak it a little bit, so maybe I'll share it in the future, but it turned out really yummy. Oh, and the last thing I did was my red raspberry leaf tea. I will make a big batch of strongly brewed tea every week, and I will put that in the fridge for me to drink on for my pregnancy. And that is what I did to prep for my week ahead. I hope you enjoyed this kitchen restock. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.